Hey, JK here. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me. As the NFL season comes on end, there is 1 week left before the playoffs start. There's a group of playoff teams that are going to be vying for a spot to play for the Lombardi Trophy. Similarly to us in our fantasy playoff contentions, there is one more league that we have a chance to bring home the trophy. We're going to get to them last because there are a few leagues that we do not have the opportunity to win a championship, and in one league that we're going to start with, we are the furthest from the opportunity to play for that championship. We're going to go ahead and start with the Majestic Juggernauts. This week was the 9th and 10th place game. I didn't say it was a great year for us. It was not a great year. It was terrible. But I also want to talk about the players I lost. Mike Williams, Nick Chubb, Mark Andrews. I lost a ton of guys. No excuses, but let's be real. I lost a lot of big playmakers. So I'm not going to say that's the reason, but I'm also going to say if I had those players, I probably wouldn't have gone 6-8. But in any case, this week we did lose. So that means we're in 10th spot. We lost 89-85. One guy that I did forget to take out was Dustin Hopkins. So he got me 0 points. Literally any other kicker, except one we're going to talk about in just a little bit, would have gotten me those 4 points. Some of the guys that tried to get me over the hump included Jalen Hurts with 24, the Texans defense coming up huge with 21, and Jaden Reed with 20. Some of the guys that helped me none include Jordan Addison with 2, Rashid Shaheed with 1, and as we talked about before, Dustin Hopkins with 0. The worst part about that is I sat Jerome Ford, who had 23. Going from bad to good, some of the guys that helped us to this 6-8 record, which isn't good, but was good enough for the Seahawks to make it into the playoffs that 1 year. Actually, I think they were 7-9. But in any case, point being, Jalen Hurts scored 388 points for me this year. Jahmyr Gibbs scored 170, and mid-season pickup Jerome Ford scored 151 for me. Though we weren't in the championship game, I did want to give an update on those that were. Team Oatmelia defeated Team Alex 81-69. Nice. So good for them. Congratulations, Team Oatmelia. Moving on from the Majestic Juggernauts and a 10th place finish, let's move to the Vince McMahon Football Club, where I promise you we're going to finish higher than 10th. This week, we were in the second week of the 2-week playoff for the 3rd place game. Last week, I was losing 131-125, meaning I did already have a deficit to make up. Well, I definitely made up for it this week as I was able to pull ahead and win overall 258-227. My highest scorer for this week was Kyron Williams with 27, followed by Jalen Hurts with 24 and Travis Etienne with 23. Some of the guys that didn't help me at all, thankfully I didn't need them, included Calvin Ridley with 3, Romeo Dobbs with 2, and Rashid Shaheed with 1. My highest scores for the entire league include Jalen Hurts with 398, Kyron Williams, who remember I told you to pick up when he was coming off the injured reserve list. So he was a mid-year pickup for me, who ended up getting 218. Travis Etienne, who was a very early draft pick for me with 211. And the Dallas Cowboys defense got 312. An 8-5 record and a 3rd place finish overall in the league is not where we wanted to be. The ultimate goal was a championship game, which hosted multiple scoregasms and Team Beto. Scoregasms ended up winning 286-251. From one 3rd place finish to another 3rd place game, let's talk about the Party Time Party Boys. This week, we did end up winning 146-123. My top scorer this week was Jaden Reed with 26, followed by Davon Achane with 23. Why he couldn't have done that last week, I don't know, but whatever. It's all good. Isaiah Likely with 18, and then 2 17-point performances by Rashee Rice and the Buffalo Bills defense. On the other side of that fence, I had poor performances from Jahmyr Gibbs with only 5 points, and Rashid Shaheed with only 3 points. I did make a few adds this week, adding Kenneth Gainwell, Okonkwo, and Demarcus Robinson, while dropping Josh Downs, Dontavion Wicks, and Parker Washington. My top scorer in this league was Patrick Mahomes with 312 points, followed by Mike Evans with 277, and then Jahmyr Gibbs with 233. Great rookie pickup for me. I wanted to go after him early in drafts, and I got him in most of them, so pretty happy with how he did, even with David Montgomery breathing down his neck, picking up and vulturing a lot of goal line carries. As the defending champion in this league, I did not want to have to play in the 3rd place game. I would have loved to have been in the championship game. However, I don't think even my best could have stopped the winner this year. The People's Commish beat Nakua Matata 206 to 144. Most of that score came from the huge game CeeDee Lamb had last Thursday. I mean, the Cowboys just kept feeding it to them, even when they were up big. But I guess in fantasy, that is what you want to see from your best player. So hats off to the commissioner. Hopefully, we'll be back next year and the trophy will come back to my place. And now we're going to talk about the Deranged Easterbunny, where I had the opportunity to get to the championship game by beating my little for my fraternity. This game did come down to the wire as we both had players for the Vikings and or the Packers. I had Jaden Reed and Aaron Jones, and they both performed well for me. However, I came up short 186 to 172. My top scorer was Matthew Stafford, who got me 56, Jaden Reed, who got me 28 before exiting with a chest injury, and then Rashee Rice, who got me 22. And now we're going to talk about the people who didn't help at all and absolutely contributed to this loss. Derrick Henry, you got me 4 points. Dude, come on. And then Chase McLaughlin, he only got me 1 point. He's the kicker we were going to talk about. I could have dropped Dustin Hopkins and picked him up, which I did in this league, and, he only got me 1 more point. So the even worst part about that is I sat Breece Hall and James Conner, who both got 28 points for me. That's not good. I did have 2 ads this week, including Chase McLaughlin and Zamir White, and the drops included Dustin Hopkins, who I actually remember to drop, and Dontavion Wicks. I still do have a matchup this week playing for the 3rd place game against the number 1 team in the league, who was also the number 1 team in my division, so this should be fun. Hopefully, I will come out with the win and have 3 3rd place finishes this year. Not sexy, not where I want to be, but it is what it is. That does it for the recap this week. I am looking forward to the last fantasy football update recap show for you next week. Hopefully we will bring home 3 3rd place trophies. Not sexy, not where we want to be, but it is what it is. I'm also looking forward to baseball season, which I'll start preparing for here soon. There have already been some huge trades, some huge signings, lots of money dealt. Dodgers. But in any case, this is still football season. We're going to be talking about football for 1 more week. Thank you so much for joining in. This is J Cake, and I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me.